Welcome to this podcast series where I'm honoring the memory of my oldest son who departed a while ago. Actually, he departed today as I'm making this exactly 40 days ago. And according to my Yoruba tradition, you give somebody who is that close, who is a part of yourself, 40 days of mourning. And it is kind of appropriate that the shirt, the pullover that I'm wearing today is that of my son. I'm wearing this in his memory. Every time I wear this, I will always think of him. I have some other little things, earthly things, to always remember him with. But today, officially, is the end of the mourning period. He is gone, but he will forever live in my heart until the day I aspire to. What I'm going to talk about today is the funeral. The day of the funeral was something else. For a guy who probably felt alone, probably felt not really appreciated, for a guy who felt he could not open up to people around him, for a guy who thought he had to go through his darkest moment alone, I, as a father, was really very surprised at how many people turned up, how many people came to show their love, people that he probably know or knew they were friends, colleagues, family of his, but where he probably did not feel either connected to enough or didn't know how much love people had for him. I had made a conscious decision to respect and to honor his dualism. You see, Dayo is my son of an African immigrant in Europe. His mother is white, Dutch. He grew up in the Netherlands. In that way, he was Dutch. He grew up Dutch. But from all my kids, he was the one who was the most African. He was the one who was, whenever I start to talk about Africa, it was all ears. He asked questions. He wanted to know more and more. Around his 15th birthday, I think something had happened, like which will always happen between father and son, that we lost contact for a while. And then when I was going to Nigeria for the first time, after a while, I gave him a call and said, Dayo, would you like to go to Nigeria with me? And he was, yes. We went with his youngest brother. We went there and he had the best time of his life at that moment, just exploring the country of his father's birth, the country where he has 50% of his roots. It was, for me, fascinating to see that somebody who did not know anything about, at least has not grown up in Africa, he arrived together with my youngest son, they arrived at the airport, and seriously, from the airport, you just felt like they've been there all their lives. And when there is football, he has this Nigerian football kit. He will always support Nigeria against any other team in the world. It doesn't matter which team. I've asked him before, what happens if Nigeria is playing against the Netherlands, and it's like, yeah, there is, what kind of a question is that? I'm supporting Nigeria. He had a Nigerian jersey. I brought that Nigerian jersey, draped it on his coffin during the funeral. Whenever we are in Africa, we both went to Tanzania, to Zanzibar, and this I will talk about later, the discussions we had, but for me it was just like seeing him, being a true African, asking questions, wanting to know things about culture, wanting to know things about food. He likes African food. Like I said previously, he lives 3 hours away from me, but when he's coming to my place, he wants to eat African food. He brings a friend of his to my place just to eat African food, because that's what makes him feel happy when he's surrounded by things African. And that for me was always a thing of joy. His whole name is all African. He was always very happy with his name. He tells people that he wears his Africanness with pride. So on the day of his funeral, I knew we were going to do this in the Dutch way, but I wanted to add the African touch to it. So on his coffin and the flower, under the flowers, there was his Nigerian football kit, a small Nigerian flag, and the whole service was conducted in Dutch. I knew some of my family and friends far away were also going to watch the funeral live online. I had decided I was going to speak in English so that people could understand me. And okay, some of my friends living far away in Germany, in Belgium were also there. So it was just for me a no-brainer to eulogize him in a language everybody will understand. After all, the Dutch people speak even better English than the Queen or the King of England. And I'd also asked my friends, please, if you could come in order to honor him in African clothes. And that was also what I wore myself to honor his memory. It was a very emotional day. I was happy my children were there. His family, his whole extended family was there on the Dutch side. It was very solemn, very beautiful, very sad at the same time. A poem was read in his honor. His best friend spoke beautifully. His employer spoke beautifully, and as it turned out, every one of his colleagues was there, bar one, who was taking care of the clients and the people they left behind in his place of work. And like I said, my son used to work with physically and mentally challenged people. And as a father, I had new things. The hall was full, and I was just like, if only you knew how much love surrounded you, what people actually think of you, maybe you will have shared a bit about the things that you were facing, the demons, inner demons that were eating you. Those are just thoughts one has. Maybe even with all of that, this will have happened anyway. We will never know. I said what I needed to say in the service. For a 7-day period, that was how we rounded up that roller coaster. At the reception, we had people I've never met before come to me, tell me stories about Dayo. That was heartwarming. Of course, I was emotional, but I was also aware. Like Dayo will I've always been aware that at that point you are also there for people. Of course, people are there for you, but everybody's following your lead. And I really said also to my friends, we were going to find a way to celebrate him, and we will, even though we were in mourning, even though we were in sadness, we were going to not let sadness be the one that will envelope us that day. We will find a way to smile, we will find a way to remember his good deeds. That was what we did. And then everybody left. You built new memories, many of those memories sad, but you also took some of the stories about him that you had, abated some of the pain. So today is 40 days after he died. According to our tradition, this will mark the end of the mourning period, and normally you mark the mourning period by eating akara. Since I don't know how to make akara myself, I'm going to go out and get a substitute, which is in Nigeria called puff puff. It has different other names in Africa, and in the Netherlands here it's called olibola. So tonight I'm going to eat that, as a kind of ritual to say bye-bye to him. And yeah, I hear a fighter jet flying past. Maybe it's even more than one fighter just flying past now. I don't know where they are flying to, but I'm going to take that as a sign that they are flying in his memory. I hope they are not going to bomb any place, because Dayo was someone who believed in peace in any kind of situation. I just want to say it's 40 days now, so we're going to eat puff puff, which is called olibola, to say bye-bye to him, bye-bye to his soul, but he is here forever. In my heart will always be. It's been a challenge having a good night rest in the last days. This week has even been more terrible. But yeah, what do you expect when you lose your child? In my heart, he has always been there, but now he has taken a place, and he's going to be my guiding angel in the days, the weeks, the months, and the years ahead. I'm going to do a lot of things in his memory, but that is for another time. On this day that I'm honoring him by ending 40 days of mourning according to our Yoruba tradition, I just want to say to you, if you are watching this, you need help, you are facing some difficulties, talk to people around you if there are people around you. If you are able to afford it, seek professional help. You are not alone, even though you might feel that. Talk to strangers. I do talk to strangers a lot, just sometimes to get them out of their rhythm and look like, hey, why is this person talking with me? But also to get connected to people. No matter how deep and alone you are feeling, no matter the depth of your despair, there is always somebody out there who can help. Talk to people, embrace each other, see each other, and most of all, sometimes we need to embrace our darkest fears, because once you do that, it's when we will discover the star in us. Some of the most confident looking people that you might know, most of them suffer from a lot of insecurity. When I say to people I'm not always a confident person, almost everybody around me say, no, Femi, you are confident, you have no fear. But I keep saying to them, it is because I've embraced my insecurities. I know where I feel like I'm not good enough, but I've also accepted that I'm just like you and me, an average person. There is no genius. Nobody. Albert Einstein was great in science, but was he a good cook? Could he play football? He was good in one field. So we say he's a genius. There are things I know better than he does. So why do we need to weigh ourselves based on the achievements of others? And achievements, it's also things that are just passing. Depends on your situation, depends on the path that you walked. If we all are to run 100 meters, Usain Bolt will run that in 9.58 seconds. I will run that probably in 30 seconds, but I will get to the same place he got to. We will be timed differently, but I have reached the same goal, based on my capacity. So most of the time we are weighing each other up against things we should not be weighing each other. You have to think like, have I done my best? Have I done all within my hands? And once you've done everything within your own capacity and your result is not the same as that other person, you should have peace with that. That is the peace that I have. That is why people sometimes think, oh, Femi is confident. Of course, it's because I've embraced the fact that I will not be perfect in everything, probably in nothing. So I'm able to put that aside and have fun. It's the option that I have, either to be miserable or to have fun. Take good care of yourself.